Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to be here. I know I took a couple days off. My last interview was last week, and then I finally got a chance to do another interview this week, and it is with, and y'all know, because y'all saw me do the live watch parties, y'all know that Cynthia is one of my faves, so I'm so excited to have Cynthia here with me today, and today we are having the fan interview. Oh, you know what? I actually changed this. Let me do this real quick. It did not show. It did not update. We are here with Cynthia. Okay. We are here with Cynthia for the fan interview. There, okay. And you guys know I did put a post up saying that if you had any questions for Cynthia, any comments, to slide them in my DM and I would ask her. And that's pretty much where we are. And that's what the fan interview is about. It's about the comments, the questions throughout the season. Everybody's just wondering what's going on with you, Cynthia. And I'm here to ask the fan questions, the comments, the thoughts, the concerns, the what's going on. And yeah, so tonight you're going to give them the answers that they are.
I got some answers for y'all.
Okay. And I got some questions. I got some questions. So everyone, welcome Cynthia to the show. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me, Sabrina. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank
you for giving me a platform to voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh God. Okay, so just to let you guys know in the chat, definitely keep it respectful. If you have not liked this video, make sure you like the video. If you guys have questions or comments that you want to put up on the screen tonight, it will have to be a super chat. Make sure it's a super chat. I'll put it up. I'll ask Cynthia, or I'll let Cynthia know anything that you guys are thinking. But other than that, let's begin. I'm so ready. You ready, Cynthia?
I'm ready. I'm sitting up tall. I'm ready.
Born ready. Okay, so this is not a question, but my first comment is do you know, I don't know if you know, but you know everybody's favorite color is green right now, right?
I heard, you know, including myself. You know, I'm a very consistent person, so I wanted to make sure, like, every time, you know, I'm about to do something big, I put on green. Okay. You know, every time a transition about to happen, I got on green. You know. So I've heard people change their color and everything.
Honey, that's a good color. That's a good color. Buddy green. Okay. Okay, so you came in as a curveball. When you came in, what were your thoughts of the men? Like when you walked in, you was like, okay. Like, what were your thoughts, or were you like, you know what, send me home right now?
So, like I explained, when I came in, I didn't really see any of the guys. Like, it was nobody that caught my attention because they kind of had them pair up with women. What I felt was like, dang, everybody already found their match. Now I'm being thrown into a situation that can't be a good thing. Those were my thoughts. But I didn't really see anybody that I was like really interested in or anything like that. I did have Andre and Tony approach me. They were the first to come up and approach me, though.
So after you entered into the mixer, even though you thought to yourself, dang, like everybody's paired up, after you like talked to some of the guys, who were you kind of leaning towards? Were you know, because everyone kind of thought like from the very beginning it was Andre really from the very beginning. So was it Andre from the very beginning?
I think from the very beginning, it was Blake. And then it was Dre. And then that was it for that time. Dre, only because he was like real friendly and he was the first one to talk to me. So, you know, that kind of like stayed in my mind. He was the first guy. But Blake is the guy that I actually sat down and talked to and wanted to talk more to. It was Blake.
We're gonna talk about that because, honey, I heard it was a whole connection with you and Blake that we never even saw, but we're gonna talk about that. All right, so when you went on that group date with Joni, and I know somebody asked you like, who is your type? So I know for me, for my panel, when we had it and we were talking about it, and I think I remember Tyrone saying, you knew, right? Like you was like Anthony, because when you were asked the question, they said it was kind of like you, like we even had to play it back and they were like, you was like, right, like you didn't want to say Anthony. They were like, well, what's your type? And you was like, well. So were you in your head thinking it was Anthony? Like that was your type?
He was one of my types, yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of my types. He was. It's so weird. So I do have a type of description of a guy that I like. You know,
so what is that?
I like guys, you know what I explained. I like guys that's well groomed, you know, well dressed, smell good, you know, that got a good head on their shoulder. Their mind is beautiful, you know. That intrigues me, you know, when a guy can teach me things and a guy can you know, help my mind kind of escape and explore other things. I love that, you know. So that's my type. I don't really have a type in looks. Yeah, I won't talk to a short guy, you know, but have I talked to, you know, like that's not my preference, but I did talk to one short guy before in my lifetime. I did. He was like, I'm 5'9", I'm 5'8". He was probably like 5'7", you know. You know, so but I don't go for looks, not in these days. Like, of course you got to be somewhat attractive, but that's not my thing.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way because anyway, child.
Don't be tricked. Don't be tricked.
Honey.
I don't know how women are assessing men these days. I don't know how they're doing their assessment, but it's more than just what you look like, you know, where you work at. Is more than that for me.
Yeah, I think it also has to do with experience and where you are in life. Because I know when I was younger, I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like in my little teenage years, he cute, girl, he cute. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, so what you doing like right now?
Yeah,
like what you
like
like you got 401, you got job, you got car.
Not you know, you gotta have those things too, but it's like when you go to bed with somebody, when you lay next to them, or even when you spend time with them, you're not spending time with their 401. You're not spending time with their degrees. You're not spending time with their looks. You're spending time with a person. Who are you? That's important to me. I need to know, like, you know, so many people hide behind. And this is why when I came on the show, I didn't want to talk about what I do. I didn't want to talk about what I've accomplished. You know, I know we're probably going to get there on a date with Andre's sister. Like, it was kind of like forced to say those things. You know, I never spoke to somebody about that on the show because those are not me. Those are the things I've accomplished. You know, that's what I do for a living, but that's not Cynthia.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of times people don't know how to differentiate. You know, when you ask them, who are you? Oh, I play ball, or I do this. No, who are you? Outside of that, who are you? And a lot of people don't even like themselves, so they can't even tell you who they are.
Yeah. You know what's crazy real quick is I don't even really ask that question anymore. I think, and that's what I mean about experience. Because I have dated, and when I say like 401 or whatever, like I want everything. I want the whole. But my thing and what I've learned in dating is if I were, because I used to ask those questions like, who are you? Like I wanted to get spiritually like connected with them and deep with them, and I did that. But then as time went on, I realized you was a fraud. You ain't nothing like what you told me you was. So honestly, and that's just my experience. So with me, it's time. I just want to enjoy just who you are. I don't want to ask you nothing. I want you to just show, because eventually time will show you exactly who a person is.
And that's what I'm talking about, because a lot of people can't answer that question. So if they even come up with that, it's like, okay, I'm going to say what sounds good. But as time progresses, you like,
you know, like I want a man to be like, why don't you find out? Like, stick around long enough.
You know, as we go through the process, you know, let's take our time, and then, you know, we're going to find out. Don't tell me about what school you went to. I don't want to hear about that. I already know. I always tell people, like, I have a certain type of guy that approach me. You know, don't even read the comments, Sabrina. Let's leave them alone. We ain't gonna read their
Well,
comments.
I have to because if I get a super chat, I got to put it up on the screen.
Okay. I see.
So I got to look every day. But I just wanted to say, Lyndon is in the chat. He said, "Hey, Cynthia."
Hey, Lyndon. I love Lyndon. I love
you
Lyndon.
too.
That's my guy.
No, we talking, we chopping it up.
Mm.
Okay. And I'm looking at my notes here too. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. I know we kind of got off, but that's a good conversation to have because, and that's actually why I started Single Soulmates, because those are the conversations like I think women need to have, because every woman has her own experiences. And sometimes I like to talk to women as yourself and other women, married women, you know, divorced women. I want to know because everyone's like, life is different in the roads that they've traveled. And sometimes, and I'm not one of those people that I think I know everything. Like I'm a sponge. And every time like I talk to someone, I feel like I've learned something new. And then it allows me to think differently about how I think. And it changes the way how I think and how I want to move into my next relationship or when I'm dating or so those are the like the healthy conversations we need to have like with each other, you know?
Yeah, you definitely need to have a flexible perception perspective when it comes to certain things, because your experience is your own and it's not anybody else's. So when you open up like you are and you become a sponge and you become a student of life, you allow yourself to learn more and you'll be able to approach things differently and see things differently. And I think that's very important.
Absolutely. Okay, so now this is a huge one.
Okay.
Because you said, and I know I watched it myself personally, and it was one of the questions that I had, but then I saw that you had commented on social media about it. Like throughout, I'm talking about up until episode 12, you was like, I don't know, I'm just so confused. I just don't know who I'm gonna pick. But then you did make a post on social media like, no, I been knew who I wanted. Like, no. Can you explain to us a little bit about that situation and how that went?
So after I watched the show, and I have to always say this, like us that did it, you experienced it, we have to live it twice. You know, the actual filming and then see how they edit it. So in a sense, I felt like production kind of wanted that story. They wanted to build that story. They wanted it to go that way. Because I've had my choice and they knew that. So even if me and Andre was talking and we was having a conversation and he knew that I was not going to be with him, they didn't air that part. Or they're like, you guys don't have to choose now. You know what I mean? But everybody knew that I was choosing Anthony. Everybody knew that. You know what I mean? Dre and Nine, like, we have a great friendship. And we built that friendship on the show while filming, of course. And I just had some concerns for him. And when we would go on dates and we would talk, but they made it seem like we was in love or something like that, and that's not what it was. You know, like if I'm asking a question, they making it seem like it's between me, and it wasn't like that. It was nothing like that. But you know, it is what it is. I knew a long time ago. I just didn't like how they wouldn't give Anthony his space. It's like once I say something about Anthony, then boom. But Andre, I'm like, why y'all did like? Damn, can the man get like 5 minutes? Y'all wouldn't give the man. He got 1 second. Like it was just like Andre. Like I'm like that annoyed the shit out of me. I didn't even want to watch that episode. I think it was like the one before the last. Like I was so annoyed. Like usually I chop up the episodes and put it on my story. I was like, I'm not even doing that. Let's skip. Let's on to the next one. It was like so annoying, but it's nothing wrong with Drake. You know, like me and Dre had great dates. It was a lot of our dates that they didn't show. I want to say I went on the most dates with Dre. You know, and I want to say that, you know, they would have liked me to have been with Dre, you know, but like I said, there's many factors why I didn't go in that direction, and one of it was his readiness. I don't think Dre was ready for a girl like for a woman like me. And
Right.
then watching the show, like my peoples were so upset. They was like, "Why he always doing this? Saying, oh, she saw and like you strong. You been crying since you got there.
You was great.
You ain't come on there strong. He gonna make people change their perspective about you or whatever. Like you came on there, you vulnerable, you soft, and he's still saying you strong. Like what? So they was upset about that. But I'm like, listen, that's how production, like,
Yeah.
they do their thing. But I did know a while ago that I was choosing Anthony.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my questions up here, and this is all the way down at the bottom. But since you're talking about it, because it's so relevant,
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to make sense. So when you were with Andre, it seemed like y'all were just really connected because you were vulnerable with him, you got emotional with him when y'all did like the paint party. So this is kind of like a two-part thing.
Yeah.
So with you having, and we saw that connection with you and Dre,
Mm-hmm.
but with Anthony, we saw that a lot of women throughout the episodes were like, he's not aggressive enough, he's not taking initiative, he's not leading, he's not. So with that being said, because we saw a dynamic with you and Andre so different than you and Anthony, what made you, I feel like I'm like, that's one of my last questions, but we're talking about it. Like, what made you feel like you wanted to choose Anthony? Yeah, you chose Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we choosing, we making a decision.
Yeah.
You ended up with Anthony and you felt like you decided not to, because you say that you and him and Andre have a great relationship, but that's just all it is friendship. Why didn't it ever grow to something more?
So, okay. The first episode, it was an assignment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Dre has a personality that's very warming and inviting. He's really like that. He's really like that in person. So it's easy to talk to Andre. So when Tommy gave us the assignment, my day was with Andre. Andre got it. And I didn't talk about anything surface. I talked about something that touched my emotions, because I think the way that I came into this journey was because production said that they vetted the guys. So because they say they vetted the guys, in my mind, it created a safe space for me.
They told you that's what they did?
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I went to meet with production, I'm like, what type of guys y'all found in Miami? Because I've been living in Miami all my life. And I want to know what type of guys. They told me, Cynthia, we found some real great guys. And then they told me, when you walk into the room, like you command the space. I want you, when you meet these guys, to tone it down so they don't send you home. And I'm like, well, I don't even know how to command the room. That's my aura. I don't know how to not be and I've always been that way. I go in, I walk into a room and it's like, oh, sits here. I've always been that. So I don't know what it is. It's just my aura. So when they told me that, they kind of made me like, dang. So this
kind of
not
defensive a little bit.
Yeah, it was, because I'm like, I don't, because he was like, but when you start to speak and you start to smile, it's so beautiful. And I don't want them to miss that, because when you walk into the room, you commanded this room. I'm like, it's like 12 of y'all in here. How I came in here and demand the room, So that was that. So with Dre is inviting. So when Tommy gave us the assignment, I shared it with Dre. It was Dre shared some things with me. I know a lot of people question was like, why it looked like she just cried out of nowhere? Like he ain't even saying nothing. No, we were sharing. They didn't show what he shared. We were talking. Okay. And Dre left right after that. He had the COVID.
Right.
He had the COVID. I I checked up on him,
Mm-hmm.
and when he was coming back, I didn't know. But the difference between Andre and Anthony is because I didn't talk to Andre on the phone. I
Not,
only I only spoke to Dre when we was filming. With
oh,
Anthony, you know, like you said, some of the women was like, he's not aggressive, he's not this and
mhm.
that. But I spent a lot of time on the phone with Anthony
Okay.
versus Andre. So me and Anthony was building something, and
Okay.
it didn't necessarily it started on camera, but it was more than just camera. Like, we never met up or anything
Mhm.
outside the show, but we
Mhm.
definitely spoke a lot on the phone.
Communicated, yeah.
Yeah.
So the little bit of time that you communicated with him on the phone, you guys are getting to know each other. Was he taking initiative? Was it him calling? Was it him texting? Was
Yeah.
it him?
Yeah, we both did it. I sent the first text after the boat. I sent him the first text, was like, "Hey, we had a great conversation." Blah blah blah. He called me right after that, and when he
Mhm.
called me right after that, we kind of like took off. You know, we kind of like took off. Like Anthony was he was open to me. I didn't really have the same experience as the other women,
Uh-huh.
because he was we talked often,
Right.
um you know we talked.
Right. So I know with production, and I know it's been said with a lot of people that, so let me ask you this. Other than the connections that we saw on camera, did
Hmm.
you have any other connections?
Yeah, with Blake.
Right. And that's what I kind of heard. So explain that. Like, what happened with that situation? Why didn't it go any further? Like,
So blake Blake is a great guy. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean? I know they tore Blake up. And I was
mm-hmm.
like, "Ooh, Blake." I was like, "Ooh, Blake, you on that ship on your own, you know?" You know, me and Blake, we still cool to this day. I'm like, "You by yourself, you know?" Uh, I had a connection with Blake. I have kids. Blake didn't want any more kids. He already have kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We not saying that he couldn't have the type of conversation me and him was having with the other women. It's
Uh-huh.
just that we were on
Sorry, guys.
something on a different plane. If he didn't want any more kids, that's fine. I already have kids. We don't have to discuss that. Now on to the next. But the thing with Blake loved the process. You know, Blake wanted to know a lot of things, like, and I was like, I just want to go through my journey. Like, I just want to go through my process. So it was a time when Blake kind of asked me, because Blake was like, "Look, I know production brought you for me. When you came, they brought you for me." I was like, "Okay, great," but I don't know if they brought you for me. So
Oh,
I got
right.
to go through my process, because when I was applying, I didn't apply for me to be with Blake. I applied to go through a process to see who here is for me, who's my guy. you know
Right.
so it came to a point where I was feeling like Blake was ready to make a decision, and I wasn't ready to give him an answer. And then it was a part where he made a decision. So when he made a decision, I was just done with that.
So can I ask you something, Cynthia?
Yeah, ask me.
You're so sweet. So with you saying that Blake was like, "You're here for me," what you just said, that kind of sounds like what Jeffrey said he said to her in a sense.
People all I don't know, because Kojo tried to do the same thing.
Oh, see, and I didn't see your interview with
Right,
Kojo,
right.
so I don't.
He mentioned the same thing, but I didn't tell him this part when Blake was like, "Oh, they brought you for me." I just felt like Blake liked what he likes. I feel like Blake liked what he likes, and if
So he just was like, I want you, and I want you. Come here."
and
Which is
Blake was another guy. Like, Blake was somebody else I talked to often on the phone.
Uh-huh.
You know, I talk to Blake a lot on the phone. So, you know, my purpose of talking to these men outside was to see what their life was behind the camera. You know,
Right.
was to really get to know them. But he did tell me that if it sounds like what she was saying,
That's what she sounds like.
you
She was
know, you
thinking.
know, if it sounds like what she was saying, I don't know. I didn't go to that extent though. I don't know. Blake ain't tell me he was ready to leave the process with me or anything like that. He just, you know, I think Blake was building like his little safe space to know, like, you know,
Uh,
he got his person, like if he had to leave the show, because you know they put Blake on the chopping block so many times.
yeah, like 35 times.
Yeah, he got mad ass plus more.
Plus 15. He did, honey. Wow. So that's interesting. Like, okay, so you said that he had found this person. Did he kind of tell you, like, I'm gonna go over here with Sue-Ann? Or did you just kind of feel his energy shifting elsewhere? So you kind of like fell back. Like, how did that work? Because I clearly really know like you and him had a connection. So like why did it like
So I didn't find out from him. I found out when Sue-Ann said it at the dinner.
hmm,
So when she said it at the dinner, I was like, okay. And
wow,
then me and him had so production brought us together and me and him had a conversation. And I was just like,
like I'm good.
you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know,
And then he just fell back from then.
he didn't have no choice. I mean, if you made your decision, you made your decision. I don't date men that have a woman. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you guys are together, you're off limits. I respect. I'm one of the women from Miami that respects people's relationships.
Yeah, me too,
You
honey.
want me? You want me to skedaddle? Let me find out you lied and you have a relationship. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm
I
the same
don't.
way. I be like, it's too many people here on this earth for me to be tripping over one
8 billion.
honey. Yeah, very, very close. Okay. So the comment about when you was like, I'm a diamond, she a rock. What exactly did you mean by
Okay, here's the thing, right? And if you notice, I was so irritated on that scene. I was so irritated.
you
Like
were,
I
you
couldn't
were.
I couldn't find my footing, like nothing, because it was the day before the actual reunion. We stopped
Oh yeah, it
filming.
was. It
Yeah,
was.
because my hair, we stopped filming 3 months ago. Now you asking me about scenes that I don't remember. I don't even remember the question that they asked me. I said, I don't remember how I felt about this. And it was like, well, you can say this. So when she said, oh, you can say that, I said, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. I
Yeah.
didn't just come out and like it, or like I was, feeling some type of way to just say it. I'm gonna be honest, like this process, you met people that you like, you met people that you didn't like. She's just not my girl.
Right.
Um she's not a girl that I would hang with. She's not a girl that would be a part of my circle, not at this age, not in high school, not ever. You know what I mean? So
Mm, mm,
I don't really care for the way that she is. You know what
mhm,
I mean?
mhm.
But I did have scenes with Jeffrey where I actually did feel sorry for her. I had scenes like one of the scenes with Dre's sister. Like after we were talking and I said what I said, and it was a scene Jeffrey put her head down. Like I really didn't like that. I wish I would have just told her, put your head up. You know what I mean? Like don't
Yeah.
put your head down. Like who is put your head up.
Right.
Because just because I may not be feeling her or she's not my girl, it doesn't mean that I don't sympathize or I don't have no emotions with what she's feeling like. Me saying my accomplishments because I did not want to say it. It would just keep going. And I'm like, well, you know what? Since you acting like this and you acting like your brother is this is what I'm like, I got the same thing he got. and I just laid it out. You know what I mean? And it was in no shade to Jeffrey. It was just the fact that the sister kept asking, you know. So it was times where I did sympathize with her, but she's just not my girl. She's just not my, and I'm a girl's girl. I support women. I love women. I'm like, listen, don't let me see anybody down. Like I'm over here like, it's like a radar. Get up, stand up. Like I do it to my daughter, and she's 9. You know what I mean? So I'm a girl's girl all the way. But I don't deal with certain type of women. I love women to win, and I don't think that, you know, she operate in that realm. It's like a I think I'm like, I don't do that. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. So when I did say that, that came directly from the producer that was there. You know, it wasn't a leading question. It was like, well, you can say this. I said, well, that's what I'm going to say. Because you asking me to think about something 3 months ago, and I don't care to think about that.
It was a pickup interview.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they needed to fill in the gaps.
Oh, shoot. So let me ask you this. So when he asked you, because I personally understand what you're saying about the pickup interviews, because just to kind of clarify a little bit for you guys watching and for you that's in the chat right now. So what happens is, say, for instance, if I finish filming in August, the show is aired September 15th. I'm just talking about my season because I just remember my season. The show is aired September 15th, but episode 10, they might needed me to fill in the blanks. You know how we sit with the green screen? So what happens is they'll say, hey, Sabrina, can you come in and do a pickup interview? So you're talking about something that happened in episodes 6, 7, and 8. Literally, for your pickup interviews, you come in with, and you have to wear the same outfit that you wore when you were filming to do the pickup interview. They'll send you a screenshot of what you wore. They're like, you had this green dress on with these earrings. Like, you got to bring the same outfit to make it look like it was still that time that you were filming. So what Cynthia is trying to say is, when she said that, she didn't even remember everything that happened during the time that when they were being filmed. So when they asked her to do the pickup interview, so the show could have been airing September the 5th, but they probably asked me to come back December 4th. It was like, can you do a pickup interview? And I'm like, what the? I don't even remember what you did in the room with. So I'm just trying to give y'all an example. That's what Cynthia is trying to say. Yeah, so because you didn't remember what was going on, they were like, well, just say this. And you were like, all right, here.
Yeah, because I told him, like, you asking me to think about somebody I don't care about, a scene I don't remember, I don't know. And she's like, well, you can say this. I said, that's exactly what I'm going to say, because I don't know. And and of course we have choices, right? We have choices. I'm an adult. We have choices, and I could have said, and I could have not to say it, but at that time, if you even watched that, my demeanor in that scene, I was very irritated, and I was done with it.
Yeah. So after they told you to say the diamond and the rock situation, after you watched it back, were you like, I wish I wouldn't have said that?
I was like, dang.
Right. Like, I shouldn't have listened to them. They got me.
I was like, oh my God. It was never that serious. It was never that deep.
But
I didn't react that way. I was like,
yeah. Oh. But it was like jab, 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 you know, to
it
her.
Was.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I get it. Okay. I know, because we've been jumping all around, because I was like, well, I know I'm supposed to ask you this, but I'm gonna ask you this now.
It's okay.
Okay. So with the decision that you made and the relationship that we saw grow on screen with Andre, do you feel like you would have or should have maybe lean more towards Andre way and really try to get to know him a little better to maybe have made a different decision at the end?
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like, you know, when we recorded the part where I brought my family, you know, there's a lot that they didn't show. And one thing about Andre was honest. You know, he's not ready. At that time, he wasn't ready for a woman like me. I think when the guys saw me and the way that I speak, the way that I carry myself, I think it was some intimidation there. I think that they felt like they needed to be perfect. I don't know what they were used to, but I never came on this journey as being perfect. I work on myself. I take accountability. I've been through some things in life, and I don't let what I've been through dictate who I am or my happiness. I'm genuinely a happy person. Like, I find happiness in anything.
Me too.
I'm going to find my silver lining because I really believe everything happens for your good, you know? And sometimes when you in it, you crying, you don't understand, you don't know why this is happening to you, and it doesn't make sense right now. It will make sense later.
It
You
will.
know, so when I approach, I was, you know, I went through some things and I realized I've been sitting. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word shit.
Okay.
I've been I've been sitting in this shit for so long. I've been feeling like this for so long. You know, mad at someone, but I'm not mad at me. I'm not mad at the fact that I played a role in my suffering. I played a role in my pain, you know? And that's when the forgiveness process start to happen. You start to take accountability because you're like, well, okay, they did this, but you could have left. When they did this, you could have left. When this happened, you could have left. So when I started going through the journey of learning how to take accountability and heal from what I've been through, the woman that I was becoming, I just wanted more. Every time I'm aware, because it's awareness that actually gives you the responsibility to know something is wrong with you and you need to fix it. Some people know things are wrong with them and they don't take that responsibility to fix it. But it felt so good to finally be able to move out of that spot that I was in, that I'm always on this train of evolving, of becoming a better me. You know, keep going, keep going. So when I would talk to the guys, I would talk with so much. They call me passionate. You know, I would talk with so much passion and things, and that's me. That's me. I don't got no PhD in psychology. I got a bachelor's. One of my bachelor's is in psychology. I taught psychology, you know, but I don't have a PhD or a master's in psychology. I just know what feels good. When you started taking responsibility for the role that you play, it feels good. And I did the work, and I'm continuing to do the work. I'm doing the work now, and I will forever continue to do the work because I still have a long life. I'm in my 3rd decade of life. That means I got 7 left. You know, I still got work to do. I'm still going to go through my experiences. So when these guys met a woman like me, I don't think they were used to a woman like me. And it was necessary for me to be with a guy that not only did the work, but that will do the work. You know what I mean? So
I have a lot of questions. I know exactly what you mean. I have a lot of questions. So whenever you're ready.
so when it came to Dre knew that he wasn't ready for me. Because one of the things they didn't show during the meeting with his sister, when she was like, would I wait for him? And I'm like, wait for him for what do you mean? How long? She's talking about 3 years. Can't do that. You know, I can't do that. Now, if we're friends and I'm still single, it's 3 years, and then you know he he looking kind of like, I'm like, oh, you know, they looking kind of, you know, maybe. But for me to sit there and wait, no, like it's an ongoing thing. Like you gotta constantly, you know, be working on yourself. So no, I wouldn't make a different decision. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. But you said you got questions, so ask me.
Shout out to you guys in the chat. I see a lot of questions on the chat, but in order to have your questions and comments, and I forgot the O in my comments, but to have your comments and questions on the screen, you do have to put a super chat up so I know, because I'm not really looking at the chat. Do a super chat and I'll put it on the screen. Shout out to Yvette McCall. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
Oh, Yvette with the $10. Okay.
Shout out to you, Yvette. Thank you so much.
It's the green. It's the green. Look, I'm going to bring you all the money.
Okay. Okay, so look. Oh, God. Okay. Just because you dived into that. So I had Anthony here on my channel.
Okay.
And he and I, we did speak, of course, about you guys' journey. And then we spoke about after your journey. And I know I personally said to him, wow, the woman that I saw, speaking of you, on screen, I feel like the woman that you're kind of describing is not the woman that I saw on the screen. Like, I personally said that to him. And I just would like for you to just give me a little, if you choose to share, because you don't have to say anything or answer anything that you don't want to. But I know with the conversation that he and I had, he made it seem as if after the show ended, you guys maybe had some conversations. I don't know. He was really vague about it. He didn't get too specific in details. But it was something to the effect of where, or to the point of where, the communication that you guys had and how maybe you handled the situation was, because even I said, well, shoot, maybe she's used to dating a certain type of man, you know, and he kind of said, like, bingo, you know what I mean? Like, we both were in agreement, like, you aren't used to dating this type of man, but you're used to dating that type of man, just to put it black and white, no gray area. And with that being said, I was like, well, wow. So in my head, and I even think I said it on screen, I was like, well, maybe he's used to, because, you know, James, honey, he came in, you know, so I was like, maybe she's used to dating Jameses, you know what I mean? So before we dive into that, I want to ask you this. I don't know if you care to share what happened and what type of conversations you guys had, and I know you also spoke about on the show about how you weren't emotionally available, maybe because of how you responded to him. And that's how I got from it. Now, my first question towards that is, do you felt like, because of course my thing is it always takes two. You know what I mean? But it wasn't my place to tell him or say that to him because it was his interview. But now that I'm talking to you and we heard his side, so from you, I heard you take accountability for whatever happened. I would love to hear what happened for you to act out of character, maybe act accordingly. I don't know. But do you felt like he took accountability for maybe something that he did? Was it something that he did to maybe had you act the way that you act? I just feel like it's just so many questions. I'm sorry if it seems like that was a lot.
It was. I'm trying to formulate it. So let me go to the first question, because you know, I got calls about his interview. You know, people weren't happy about the things that he said, and that's fine. But I feel like the way that I feel about what they told me, there's nothing that I can say about it. There's nothing that I want to say because I can't unhear it. You know what I mean? It was just weird to me. But I'm gonna go from the first and go through. Okay. So I'm gonna go first with when you said that you mentioned that maybe I'm used to dating men like James, right? Okay, I'm gonna pause right there. What you saw was 5 minutes? Was it 5 minutes? Even 3 minutes with James?
And I want to just clear up it. Even though I mentioned it, it's been said just not I wasn't the only one.
No.
It was other places in the Facebook group, like everyone was kind of saying the same thing because that's the impression that some of us had gotten. So I just want you to understand, like, it was a whole, and you're right, it was just 5 minutes. But I just wanted to say that too.
Yeah. No, no, listen, they told his ass up.
Yeah, because that's what we thought.
They told him up. Listen, I'm gonna be honest here. They told him up. You know what I mean? And poor guy. You know what I mean? They just told him up. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like James asked the wrong questions. Mm-hmm. Now, he didn't ask the questions that I wanted him to ask, because production got in his car, and that was what I shouldn't have not let happen, and told him, just fire questions at these guys. They wanted him to get them out of character. So now James' goal changed from me trying to get to know these guys to him trying to get them out of character for me to see how they react when they're not comfortable. Now, if you watch the show, I think Morgan mentioned Cynthia was right. You gotta be careful. You gotta watch how somebody treats you when they mad.
Yeah,
that's my thing. We have so many emotions, and people don't display them right off. Things gotta happen for them to be displayed. So going back to me dating guys like James, I sent you pictures of my exes. You did. And can you please do me the honor? Drum roll, please. Do any of these guys? I'm not downplaying James, because that's the father of my kids. And like I said, we've been friends since middle school. I think people kind of intertwined the 12-year relationship like it was just a straight 12 years. No, we've been friends for a long time. The 12 years count the friendship. Okay. When we had kids, it was 6 years. You understand what I'm saying? But I knew him for a long time. We dated when we were 16, broke up. Then we got back together and we had kids. You know what I mean? But I sent you pictures of my ex because I felt comfortable with you. I get it. I don't consider you a blogger. You was on the show. You know what it's about. You're a professional. You know how sometimes people can take what their perspective of you, and that's their opinion. And we know that people's opinion don't matter. Right. That's just their opinion. But it's just sometimes when you try to use certain things to take away what's great from a person, that's like weird. I don't do that. That's not my thing. Yeah. So can you please do me the honors and tell these people of my exes, please? Yes.
So one thing about me, guys, is I always keep it 100. If I say anything, if I do anything, I'm one of those women that's like, people be like, did you say that? Yes, I said it. So I'm one of those people. I will always own up to the things that I've said and that I've done. So when I approached Cynthia about being on this interview, she and we did have a discussion about what we're talking about now. And, she knows what I said. And she was like, you know what, Sabrina, hold on one second. She did. She sent me pictures of her exes. I want to say, what was it? 4 pictures. It was about four different men throughout the time in her life.
One of them was a picture with one. So it was 3 of them. The one that I was with was the guy with the suit with the helmet.
Okay. So all I'm going to say, guys, is these men that she sent me the pictures of is nothing like James. These are very professional, educated, and clean cut, like
and let me add access. Men with access. You understand what I mean? Like,
not saying that James isn't. I'm not
saying that he is. Listen,
it's just a different perception. It just made me look like dag, I was wrong, you know, but this picture that was painted of how I portrayed you at that time with the information that was given to me.
Right.
That's how I viewed you. But
Right.
after talking to you and you communicated a little bit more on our personal conversation, and then you introduced the pictures, I was like, I was blown away. And that's why I said, you know, to you behind the scenes, like, I want you to be able to really tell your truth. And so people can understand exactly like the situation and for what it is, not for what we want to assume that it is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So my children's father, that's my children's father.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna take nothing away from him. He gonna be himself. He Miami. It is what it is. I'm from Miami. It is what it is. I don't take nothing away from him, but I have evolved in the sense of, you know, I'm not really like Miami women. I don't really like what Miami women, and I don't want to generalize them, but I'm just saying from where I'm from, I don't like what they like. What they like don't attract me. I said what I like, and I date what I like. You know what I mean? And the thing is with these men, like, you know, I said I never been in love, and that's true. I've never been in love because I feel like love happened over the course of a healthy relationship.
Right.
When you see these men, they're older. They're like my age and older. And men that's around my age and older, they're kind of stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? They don't really want to change. And people want you to be okay with the way that they want to love you. No, if I'm coming to you as a student to learn the way that you need to be loved in places, in areas that you're not okay, and I can help nourish those places, you have to do the same thing for me. I want a guy that's ready to be as committed as me, you know, that we're going to hold each other hand and go through this life journey together.
Question. Please do not lose your train of thought. So do you feel like that? So you don't feel like that you were getting that from Anthony?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say this, and this is what I'm gonna say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't want to. When I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't want to feel like I need to be perfect. I don't want to feel like I'm not safe. The safety. If you take my safety away, my mindset is like all over the place. You know what I mean? Like it's all over the place. Like I'm no longer sure. You know what I mean? And that caused me to not be myself, like comfortable, you know? And another thing is I don't want to be with someone that I have to be perfect or I have to walk on eggshells. That's not comfortable for me. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you date men of a certain age, they're stuck in their ways and they want you to kind of like follow their lead. They don't want it like a give and take. Love is not like that. Love is just effortlessly, I want to do for you and you do for me. It's not a one-way street. And that's what I was getting. And that's why, you know, things happen the way that they happen. Like I'm a person, I conduct business. And when I'm in these streets conducting business, dealing with clients, whether it's for my marketing company, my consulting company, or real estate, I don't want to bring that home. When I come home, I want to be soft. When I come home, I want to be understood. And let's go to the part where I talked about the emotional detachment. It's not that I'm not an emotional person. I'm a very caring person. And I'm loved. I'm loved enormously. Like I'm loved with friends. I'm loved through families. Even the fans love me. I'm loved. You know what I mean? That's not something that I lack. And I'm not loved for what I accomplished in life or what I can do for people or the way that I look. I'm loved for Cynthia. Is either Cynthia Sin or Sent. I'm loved for her. You understand what I mean? So I don't have the discrepancy where I feel like, oh my God, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm not going to be like. So when I'm in a relationship, if I gotta feel like that, I don't want that. I'm not comfortable.
Right.
I don't feel safe. And when we decide, like, let's just say if we have something that happens, we have a disagreement, or maybe I did something that you didn't like, and we like, okay, because we busy people, okay, can we get together? Can you make some time around 8 o'clock? We'll sit down and talk. Okay, cool. You could come with your list. I'll come with my list. And we can figure out how we're going to work this thing out. How we're going to work on it. And it got to be noticeable that we're working on things. Not just I'm working on things. Because if that happens, then it's being pulled only in one direction. You don't really want this. When two people are committed to doing something, it's going to happen. Because you're committed to overcome things. But if we talk about something and it's not dead, and every time you just keep talking, I'm gonna detach myself because I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear it. It's like and I used to do it all the time when I was teaching, and the kids would just be calling me. Stop calling me. Stop saying things that we talked about. If we're working on it, let's work on it. Don't throw it in my face. Don't throw it at me. Don't do those type of things. Like, listen, when I came into this journey, I came in ready. When I was going through this journey, I was ready. I ended this journey, I'm still ready. But it doesn't mean that just because I say I'm ready to be in something committed for the long haul, that I'm going to be accepting certain things. Now I'll take full blown accountability if I did something wrong. But if we're working on it, let's work on it. If we're not working on it, just cut it off. Just cut it off.
Is that why you guys are kind of not working on it right now?
I think with when it comes to him, when it comes to Anthony, I just think what we're doing is best. Like, the space is just best. It's good. Space is good. Space is really good. In some situations where not that the fact that we were not seeing eye to eye. You know what I mean? I just think where things are now is just best. It's just best.
Do you wish you would have chose yourself at the end?
No, I don't regret my journey. My journey, to me, it was so beautiful. I don't regret my journey. Throughout my journey, I learned so much about me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I learned so much about me because I was able to view first of all, I seen how open I was with these guys when we was
Yes, you
recording.
were. We saw it.
I seen that part. And then, well, that was the first. I seen how open I was in the on the dates. But when the whole production came and I was able to view it with everybody, listen, I was sitting back just looking at myself like, wow. Because the public don't get that. My friends get that. People that's close to me get that. I'm not a person that I'm not really open like that. You know what I mean? It's like my cousin told me, like, I don't want to feel selfish because now I got to share you with the world. Like, not the world get my Cynthia. And I'm like, don't be selfish. I mean, don't feel like you're selfish. Like, I'm going to always be here, but I think my journey is bigger than me. I think is a lot of women that needs to be comfortable with what they've gone through. They have to be comfortable with their experiences. Don't let nobody make you feel crazy about your experiences. That's what birthed you. You
Yeah.
had to go through that. You have to go through those things. And there's nobody in life perfect. You have the people that's gonna put their shit in front of their face. Because
Yes.
Sabrina, I gotta be honest. I was one of those people. I respect how I feel at a given time. You could not tell me I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like if I would make a decision at a given time, I'm like, I respect how I was feeling at that given time, and I did the best that I could do at that given time. This Cynthia, I'll be like, nah, Sin, you was wrong. Sin, you can't do that no more.
Can I ask
You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a very honest
yeah.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason that you had your back towards Anthony because you couldn't look at him because you really feel you have so much on your heart and in your head that you wish that you could speak, but right now you're just in the stage where you rather just protect and just move on. And that's why you couldn't look at him because you want this to be past you. You do, but it's a lot I feel like you're saying, but I feel like it's a lot that you're not saying because you're protecting him. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean,
and I feel like that you can still protect him and you, but I still feel like you should speak your truth. I think that should be a part of your healing as well.
yeah, I mean, listen, when I was on the stage, me and Anthony, we spoke before we got on the stage, but prior to that, we didn't speak at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We both decided that, you know, whatever. We didn't speak at all. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to get emotional because I said so much on that stage. They didn't air it. You know, I needed to get what I needed to get out. When I got what I needed to get out, you know, he came to me. He was like, "Can we hug it out?" We hugged it out. I was good. You know, I still okay. So my whole thing is, I came from a family that if you eating hot dogs at home, you don't tell the neighbors. I don't do the back and forth thing. I'm off that train. Me, I'm moving forward. I want the best for Anthony. I want Anthony to be happy. I want the best for me. I want to move on from all of this, and I want to just keep moving in a direction where there's light, because I choose light. I operate in happiness. I'm not a person of darkness. I'm not a person that's operating. I can get upset, but I don't stay there. I'm just not that person. So for me, I just wanna that's why I came up with gentle reminders. I came up with a whole merch line based on me watching myself and hearing the way I supported these women. It also spoke to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we were done filming like last year, but when we watching it, we it can resonate where we currently are. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I'd rather help women because I feel like that's what my journey was about,
Yeah.
versus me focusing on what didn't happen, because it happened the way it was supposed to happen.
That's right.
And
Always.
and I'm good,
Yeah.
you know.
So every how because I know you're very passionate. So how you spoke to me tonight and the things that you talked to me and us about tonight, because we all sisters up in here, we soulmates up in here. Did you talk to Anthony about these things that you feel and that you felt? Like, have y'all had this conversation in depth?
We've talked, but I just feel like we talked and we talked and we talked, and I think we're done talking. Yeah. Don't listen. Listen, everything happened the way it was supposed to happen.
I know.
And
I just think because I think I said it, I was like, this season was such a dud. I was like, the little bit of hope
hope.
that I had for Ready to Love was Cynthia and Anthony. And then I was like, when they didn't make it, I was like, yeah, the hope was gone.
But you know what? I have faith until like the last second. I will listen, I will fight. I will fight. I will fight. I will fight. I will fight.
Yeah.
But there's a time where you got to just let go.
Stop fighting.
And let it be. And it's like I feel like I came in this process with love, and I
Yeah.
want to transition out of it with love. You know, I don't want to tear nobody down. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to do that. It's not my thing. Like,
Yeah.
whatever people perspectives are, that's their perspectives. Who's going to rock with me? They're going to rock with me. Who's not? They're just not. And I'm just okay with it either way,
Right.
you know. But me, is nothing different from who I was on the show and who I am now. I'm
Yeah.
Cynthia all the way through. I don't got no filter. I
Yeah.
will support my sister. You know, hey, listen, if I got a man, hey, he never gonna need a compliment from a girl in the streets. You understand me? He
Yeah.
gonna get all the compliments. You know, I joke, I inspire. That's me. I came in because I came in and showed me because I genuinely want someone to like me for Cynthia. I don't want you to like me from where I'm going. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to like me for what I have. I want you to like Cynthia. So I'm always going to put her in the forefront. Good, bad, or ugly, I'm going to put her in the forefront. And sometimes people feel like they're privy to information or they're privy to business. That's not their business. And people just got to learn to just mind their business. If it's your business, it's yours. But if it's not, just keep it pushing. If it bothers you so much, just keep it pushing. Because in life, we have choices. At any given, and I've always tell people that any given day, minute, any given day, hour, minute, second, if you decide to change your mind,
Yeah.
that is your choice.
Yeah.
Nobody can be upset about that.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
So, so we have a lot of super chats. So I'm going to get to them. But before I get to them, I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to conclude by saying this is that when you said at the reunion that you were emotionally unavailable, I'm just going to say this, that you actually were emotionally available. I wish you would have used a different choice of words.
Yeah, I think I should have. What I meant to say is that because when I said it is when I was describing um when we started going through our challenges, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I was emotionally attached. Not that I'm emotionally attached. It's just that when things are being repeatedly said, I
Mm-hmm.
detach myself from it. You know,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have done that because when you care about somebody, no matter how many times they gotta get something off their chest, you
Yeah.
should be available to hear it. You shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to hear this. Oh, how many times you got to talk about? You shouldn't be like that. You should be, not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying after things was being repeated, I kind of like detached myself, and I wasn't aware that I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware that I was doing
But
it.
at a point, there we do have our limits.
Yeah.
We're still human, and I know for me, like, especially when I'm trying to communicate to you how I feel, but if you keep putting me in an unsafe place, then I am going to shut down. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to tune you out. Like, I get like that. Well, I used to get like that too. So it's like I completely understand, but I just feel like that you were emotionally available. I just feel like now that I'm hearing both of you speak, I just feel like you guys just weren't for each other.
Yeah,
All it is.
I can agree, because I tell people, listen, who's for me is not gonna pass me by.
That's right. That's
Listen,
right.
my husband is somewhere working on himself, and he like, Sid, you need to get together, Sid. You need listen. I'm getting together, baby. Whatever I'm aware of, I'm working on. I'm getting it together. Don't worry, I'll be ready soon.
Mhm.
And listen, and if I meet him sooner, maybe he'll want to take my hand and we'll work on things together.
That's right.
That's
Well, tell me
beauty.
if you got a brother, child, because if you got a brother, child. Okay, so let's get to some of these super chats. And I haven't read them. I've just been starring them in the chat.
All right.
So I don't even know which order when they came in, but Mimi H said pressure, and frankly, Sabrina's the only one to get it all the way out. Both have different perspectives. He's a planner, she's a filler. It's okay. And I'm thinking she's talking about you and Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay. Yvette says, since sounds different about Anthony, did his interviews change your thoughts about him?
It's not that the interviews changed my thoughts about him. I just don't do that. I just don't. I just feel like what I didn't watch the interviews. I was told,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was told, they didn't bring it to me in a pleasant manner. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you just don't care about somebody and do that. You don't do that. Like I look, even after I've heard what I've heard, I
Right.
still didn't come on this platform and like, you know, you
Yeah.
you just don't do that. Like, and I'm different and I operate in love. Like I'ma always care about Anthony, but I'ma care about Sid first. I
Yeah.
love Cynthia. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love Cynthia first. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for your question, Yvette. And also, too, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Mimi H, for your comment. I appreciate you. Okay, we have Yvette. She says, well, dang. Go ahead, Yvette. Yvette, hot tonight.
Hey, that girl, I'm gonna need some of
Shout
that.
out to Yvette. She says, well, dang, sounds like you and Anthony is done, girl. I really thought that y'all were for each other. By the way, I don't think he disrespected you or y'all's relationship in any way in any of his interviews.
I didn't watch the interviews. I've heard about some of them. I'm a very respectful person. I won't disrespect Anthony in any shape, shape any way, shape or form. I respect him as a man and he will tell you that. I've never disrespected Anthony. He will also tell you that. So I just feel like it just some of the things was just left field for me and
Yeah.
I'm off that train because I don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't do. I just don't do the back and forth thing. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
But
tell
thank
you.
you, Yvette. Because I
Yeah.
didn't
Thank
watch the
you, Yvette.
interviews. Like I disconnect from Ready to Love. Like the
Yeah.
last, I disconnect. I got work to do. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I disconnect. So I didn't really listen to the interviews or anything like
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I can say was on my platform and he showed you the utmost respect. So I'm just letting you know, like it might have been some things that he said about the process and maybe what happened to you guys, but other than that, he was so respectful towards you. So I can't speak for everyone else's interview, like on other platforms, because I haven't had time either. I've
Yeah.
like maybe dipped in and dipped out, like, hey, good interview, have a good. But other than that, I didn't watch the interviews.
Oh.
Mimi H said, I think when you were explaining yourself about what happened with you guys, she says that we got the answer. We can see that where you might have felt the need to be perfect, maybe in your situation with him.
I didn't talk about my situation with Anthony directly. I was just talking about what I won't accept or what I will accept. So
Okay. Thank you, Mimi H, for the comments. Okay. And Refined Queen said, wants to know from you, did you feel feminine energy from Anthony at any point?
no, why I keep saying that about Anthony? Why they keep saying that about him? No, I mean, when Anthony came on the show, Anthony came, you know, all professional and things like that. I don't know why they say that.
I don't know either. That's why I asked him, because I've
They
seen
keep
it,
they
and
keep
that's to
saying it.
where I wanted him to clarify it, so, and to bring some clarity to it.
No.
But okay, I appreciate your answer. But other than that, those are, let me scroll up. Those are all the super chats that I had. And thank you so much, guys, for the super chats. I appreciate you so much. Oh God, I just feel okay. If you could have done anything different on the show, what would it have been?
Slow down.
Mm, mm.
I would have definitely slowed down. You know, the show, since you've experienced what I've experienced, the show kind of made everything happen so fast.
So fast.
You know, and I remember telling Tommy, you know, um, after, you know, we make our decisions, we got to slow down because we really got to get to know these people. You know, we
Yeah.
know we like them enough to want to continue, but we don't really know anything about them. So I wish that we would have slowed down because we was, listen here, when you go fast you crash, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I wish I would have slowed down. And that's what I also take from this experience too. Like, the next guy, because I'm ready. I'm still ready. You know. So the next guy that I do meet, you know, that's well dressed, you know, smell good, clean cut, you know. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it very slow. But that's what I was doing anyway in the outside world. You know,
Yeah.
they usually got 90 days. Listen, they got 90 days. Say something I like.
Okay. Okay.
Job, you know, they got about 90 days to say something I like. I listen, our goals gotta line up because I don't date for friendship. I date for marriage. So
Me too. I'm
if
intentional. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
got time to be wasting.
listen. We gonna become friends while we dating. We that's how we gonna become friends. Everything we
Exactly.
overcome, that's how you gonna become my best friend. The
Yeah.
way you back me up, the way you support me, I support you. That's how you gonna be my
Yeah.
best friend. I date for marriage. I don't know about nothing else. I don't want nothing else. It's not my style. Big up to everybody else.
Yeah,
It's not my style.
absolutely. Mimi H, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, my father always says, haste makes waste. Take your time.
Yes, Mimi.
Other than that, is it any projects that you're working on that you want to share with the people? Or any last words, any last sayings, any affirmations you want to give us?
I just want is it only women in the chat?
I,
It doesn't matter. It applies to women and men. Listen, don't break your own heart. Sometimes it's hard to let go, but when you finally let go, it feels so good. Always choose yourself, put yourself first. Um, as this show came to a conclusion, I started my brand. Gentle Reminders is a merch brand where I just put my logos like this one right here.
Let's see, girl. Let's see. That's what this little segment is about. Let us know what you're working on.
So you know
My glasses on.
this one.
You know I can't see.
What,
Oh, go over. Oh, it says don't bring it at truly sin _sin. I love
Yeah, so
that.
I have that one. I have one. The other one, you can keep your briefs. I like my panties. You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
constantly, you know, put my quotes from the show on the shirt just to remind people. You know, if you're ever in doubt, choose yourself. You know, like just to keep reminding ourselves because do not disappoint the woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint the woman in the mirror. It doesn't matter how great somebody is. If they're not for you, they're just not for you. You know?
Absolutely.
And always lead with love.
Absolutely.
Always lead with love. So, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so let them know where they can find you on social media, where they can follow you.
So in my name, can they see that? It's the at Truly Scent.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at. Once you get there, I have my link tree. I have all my other pages on that one. That's my personal. This page actually is the branch for all my other businesses, but my business page, I don't have my personal. So you guys get to get me. And I do answer my DMs. I do. I have my fan base, they're so special to me. Listen, they pray for me. They inspire me. Nobody curse me out. Nobody curse me out. People, listen, they are so wonderful. Like, and I do talk to my fans. I do type back, you know. I
Yes.
even had a girl ask me for my dress.
Oh, shoot.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't.
You
I
didn't
won't.
have a dress malfunction, did you? A lot of people
No,
don't.
no, no.
Yeah.
You know, that was taking up for me. You know, that was taking up for me. This
Okay.
is what they do, you know. I
Okay.
don't really need to fight for myself. They get me, you
Yeah.
know. I was protecting myself on that stage. I was really protecting myself. I didn't want to be emotional. You know, I'm a crier, man. I cry when I'm happy, sad, laughing, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm so full of joy. Like I just be crying for anything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so, you know, I didn't want to not be able to say what I needed to say, because accountability is big for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter if other people don't take accountability. I will always take accountability for the role that I play, because that's how I grow. I want to be the better version of me. And every time I just want to get better and better and better. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I told her she could have my dress.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Shout out
Don't
to
be
you.
a stranger, Sabrina. When you come in town, we're going to hang.
You
Where are
know
you?
it,
What city you in?
girl. I'm all the way in Virginia, girl.
Oh, okay. I mean, you know, it ain't that bad. I like Virginia.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but I'm definitely going to be coming to Florida soon, Miami, somewhere close to y'all. Because honestly, I have become so close with a lot of y'all down there. Like, I love y'all. Like, I'm more closer to y'all than I am with my own castmates.
Really?
Like I be talking to y'all, like some of y'all I be talking to y'all like every day. You know, I'm not gonna tell my business or nothing, but we be like, you know what I mean? Like, but just on a personal level, we don't even be talking about the show or anything, like really like as friends, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I have really grown very fond of y'all, and I really love y'all, and I'm gonna hit you up, I'm gonna slide in your DM, girl.
Let me know.
I'm gonna be like, where you at? I'm gonna be in the daylight.
I'm here, pull up.
I'm gonna be in the daylight with a flashlight. Look at me. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Make sure you click that thumbs up if you haven't subscribed. Definitely subscribe to my Seoul Mate community. Merch coming soon. Free merch coming soon for my members. Other than that, have a great night. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you.